Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you listening. I really do. I know there's a million podcasts out there, so I definitely appreciate the fact that you're listening to this one. Before I get into today's episode, if you are a dad and you are listening to this show and you are not completely happy with your fitness level, your energy, your body, kind of the direction that your overall health is going, it makes so much sense to become part of a tribe of like-minded people. I've seen it just play out over and over and over the course of the years, and it's one of the main reasons that pretty much everything that we do in the Fit Dad Nation is group-related. So we've got paid groups, we have free groups, we have all kinds of stuff happening, monthly challenges. But probably right now, the best place for you, at least to get familiar with what we do at the Fit Dad Nation, is to apply to our free private Facebook group. Right now we have, we just hit the 800 men mark. And so you can apply to that at fitdadnation.com/community. And so today, what I want to talk about is something that I think probably most of us, probably a good portion anyway, deal with, and that's having a significant other, spouse, wife, partner that eats like shit. So this is a huge problem. So, it's not as easy as, you have to just suck it up and be stronger than your spouse, because it's honestly not that easy. So I want you to think about this for a second. So remember when you were first dating your now wife, right? What did you a lot of? And no, not that. What you did a lot of is eating and drinking, right? You spent a lot of your time that you're out in public anyway, doing things that revolved around food and or alcohol, right? And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's what we do, right? That's just part of the honeymoon process, all that, right? And so it's easy to get caught up in that. And so once we get married and things start to change, I feel like a lot of our lives are still largely focused on food. And so, I don't have to tell you guys that, eating a healthy diet consistently is largely responsible for how we feel, our body composition, i.e. how much fat we have, general health, all of these things, but we continue to get fatter by the year. We continue to get less healthy by the year. And it's directly tied to our diets and, obviously our lack of exercise and movement. And so, it's a struggle. I mean, I've struggled with it for years. And so I've been in a relationship now for 6 years and some change. And, we're very fit. We're very active. We get out a lot. We're doing stuff like hiking, and we do a lot of long bikes. We have kayaks that we take out quite a bit. But the woman I'm with has an insatiable sweet tooth and loves sweets, and doesn't help that she actually has a home-based cookie decorating business. So she's, if she's not bringing junk food into the house, which she does a lot, she's cooking junk food, brownies, cupcakes, cookies. So there's always something sweet. And I am just someone that I just, like a lot of people, love sweets. So yeah, that's one of my biggest weaknesses. So when it's around, there's a fair chance that I'm going to succumb to the smell and the thought of eating something. And yeah, it's not conducive to maintaining a healthy weight or a healthy body. And so, I want to share some ideas, some strategies that I've had to incorporate, because if I hadn't, I'd probably be 250 pounds. I'm not a big guy. So I would be very overweight, very out of shape, really poor diet. My blood pressure, my numbers would probably be off the charts. So I've had to kind of learn the things that work for me anyway, that keep me from just totally binging the fuck out and just, being a gluttonous slob. So first thing I'll say is, when it comes to the concept of willpower, and you think, okay, if I have enough willpower, it doesn't matter what they bring into the house. And I'll just remind you, and I actually did a piece on this a while back, that willpower, it's a limited resource, meaning you can't say no. You can't go against what your body or your mind wants to do indefinitely. At some point, it will give. And so, I mean, it's a very real thing. And so when you're constantly saying no, 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 at some point, yes, you're just going to say, fuck it, yes. And then that's where the slide begins. And for a lot of us, we can't do that in moderation. Everybody has heard a million times, eat everything in moderation, that's fine. And while on paper, in theory, that's fine, that works, in practicality, it doesn't work because we're not a nation, a society of people that is good at moderation. We want it now, and we want it as much as we can handle. It's just how we are as people, at least in the United States. So just keep that in mind, too. So, I'll say that first and foremost, when it comes to all this and me trying to make better decisions when it comes to food, even though there's Pop-Tarts, licorice, candy, cookies, trying to think of what's in the pantry even right now, there's probably 7 or 8 things to choose from that I would typically go to because a lot of times we're triggered not by hunger, but by some kind of emotional trigger that says, you need to have that food. You really want to have that food, don't you? And a lot of times, we don't even think about it. Maybe we're not even hungry, but we go to the food, we grab a little bit of it. And, a few snacks like that over the course of the day can easily put your calories up into that surplus area. If you're trying to lose weight, it's going to make losing weight impossible, even though you're eating very well, maybe during the day. Most of the time, just snacking on junk like that, the high sugar, high carb stuff that just sneaks up on you and doesn't really fill you up, that's the stuff that puts you into that calorie surplus. And as you know, if you're in that surplus, on a consistent basis, you just can't lose weight. So that's maybe one of the reasons why you you struggle. So, but first and foremost, I would say, and this is at the top of the list for of importance for me, is leading by example, because obviously I'm in this business, so I have to lead by example, or otherwise I suck at my job and I shouldn't have this job. But it's important for me as a father, for my kids, and then my partner here. We're not married, but I'll call her my wife. To see that, because that shit, it rubs off. It honestly does. And so you already know. And then our wives, our kids, they don't always listen to what we say, but they're going to do what we do and what they see us doing over time. So it's really important to just lead by example and just remember, people are watching, even though they may not think that they are. Your wife, your kids, they're watching. They're going to learn. So making a better decision in a situation where you are really struggling to make that decision goes a long way. Okay? I'll say that it's a really bad idea to nag your partner, to guilt them, give them a hard time, right, about them eating, saying, what the fuck, I'm trying to eat healthy. You're over here stuffing your face with Oreo double stuff, and I'm trying to eat, a nice, clean, healthy meal, and you're making it very hard, right? Or worse, getting on their ass about eating too much junk, about getting fat, right? Typically, that's going to backfire. They're going to be resentful. They're going to stick to their guns even harder. I know in my case, it would definitely make her dig in deeper and say, too bad, I'm going for this. And, the more you talk shit, the more junk I'm going to eat. It just wouldn't work for me. And I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the same situation. So just let that go. Okay. You can't control anybody but yourself. Something we did a while, actually we haven't done this in a little while, but we've done it quite a few times, is we literally throw down a challenge. We both come to a point where we say, you know what? We're eating like shit. We need to clean this up. And so we'll take before photos, we'll kind of give each other a hard time. We'll text each other back and forth photos of ourselves that are at our worst, as a kind of competitive thing and make it fun. And luckily I have somebody that is okay with that, which is, it's kind of funny. A lot of guys are like, what? You just called her fat. I said, yeah, I do all the time. She calls me fat when I'm getting fat, and it's harmless. And, she's got that sense of humor, but in the past, with my first marriage, definitely a big no-no. So anyway, throw down a challenge, make it fun, put something on the line, maybe something personal, maybe it's a back rub or whatever it could be. That's, something that you would like more of. And put it out there. Make it short. If you set it out for 6 weeks or 90 days, it's too long. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to get disinterested. So make it short. Okay. And I would say on those lines, if you go into this like with a team attitude, and it's not, you convincing her to do something or to see it your way, because that's not right. Make it a team thing. Like, let's do this together. Instead of taking, or rather putting the pressure on her and saying, you need to change, you need to eat better. I'm doing great. It's let's do this together. I have some areas for improvement. You have some areas for improvement in our diet. Let's do this together, And then talk about your why, as in, why do you want to make a change, right? I mean, everybody has their own reason. The natural reaction is to say, well, why I want to eat less junk, right? Well, that's the obvious answer, but there's a reason why, right? Is it because you feel like shit after you've been eating? Like for me, when I'm not eating like a pretty clean diet for a while, I feel like shit. Like my energy sucks. I don't get as good of sleep. My workouts aren't as great. And so when everything's really going well with my diet and I'm really consistent with it, I feel amazing. And so that's one of my whys. So find yours. And I would say stop going out so much. I know this isn't much of an issue now because restaurants are closed except for takeout, which is also a problem. But a lot of people don't like cooking all the time. It's not that much fun to always be like, oh shit, I have to cook all these meals. I've got to go with the ingredients. I have to shop for them. I have to prep. Right. So carry out becomes kind of the go-to, and honestly, it has for us. And the problem, it's not necessarily bad, but typically restaurants, for the most part, aren't cooking the healthiest choices, right? They cook it in butter. They cook a lot of, not that that's unhealthy, but there's a lot of extra calories, a lot of grease, a lot of stuff that we don't really need. But more importantly, it's really easy to overeat. So we go to this place called Texas Roadhouse, which is a steakhouse. And I mean, it's phenomenal steaks. So I'll get like an 8 or 11 ounce steak with like a baked potato and a salad. But they send, and this is for takeout, they send rolls, which if you've ever had them, they're incredible. And it's almost impossible for me anyway to eat just one. So, making better decisions when it comes to carry out too can really be a big thing. And so, if your wife is trying to order carry out, fine, do a little research. I mean, do your due diligence. It's not just going to be laid in your hands. Look at the better options. Look at the healthier side. Order something for everybody that's on the healthier side. Take it into your own hands. Don't listen to your wife yelling from across the room, "Hey, I'm ordering whatever. I'm ordering Chili's. What do you want? You give me some ribs. I'll take some fries, maybe some cheese fries, whatever." Do a little research. I mean, it's not that hard, but you have to put a little bit of effort. The more effort you put in, I mean, it is really going to help. And there's one thing that I did a while back, and I haven't done it in a while. I should probably revisit it, but sit down with your partner and tell them your goal. So if they don't know or aren't really up to speed on what you're trying to do, and a lot of times, we're guys, we keep stuff to ourselves, right? You might be inspired by a video you saw on YouTube. You might be inspired by something you read on my social media account or whatever. And you say, you know what? I'm tired of being a fucking fat ass. I want to make a change. And then you plan it in your mind. You get everything set up. You figure out all your workouts. You figure out all the food you're going to eat, but you don't really tell anybody, right? You can't expect her to know that. So sit down with her. Say, listen, I feel like it's time, and I'm motivated. I'm inspired. I'm tired of being 40 pounds overweight. I'm tired of being the fat guy at the pool. I want to change, and this is my goal. My hardest thing is food. I need help. Can you help me? When we go shopping, can we just, avoid some of the stuff that we normally buy and choose better stuff instead? Just have that conversation, and, there's a good chance she's going to say, of course, right? I'll share this, and, I'm not proud of it, but I mean, I've put on like 20 pounds during these shutdowns. And like I said, I'm not a big guy. I was maybe 175 pounds, and now I'm about 195. And, I still carry it well. It's not like, I'm overweight, and a lot of this, weight isn't necessarily just fat, but, I've allowed excuses and everything else, change of routine to really screw with my head. And, I've made decisions that have affected my weight, and I don't feel nearly as good as I can feel. And this is not something that's, just specific to me. This has been happening to millions of guys during these shutdowns, millions of people really. But, it's food related. I'm still working out in the gym a lot, the home gym anyway, or outside. but it's food, right? I'm sitting around so much more. My partner, she's at home working, so we're always home, and we've really loaded up on the takeout food, and we're eating a lot more comfort foods. And so my decisions, bad decisions, and so just remember all of this. Even though your partner may have a horrible diet, which, like I said, in my case, is true. It's I think I like to tell her it's like 70% carbs, 30% sugar. So it's like pasta, rice, and sugar is pretty much her diet. But again, it's not an excuse for me to do that. And again, why I've started to incorporate and have incorporated a lot of these things over the last couple of years. We've been living together for 5+ years. So yeah. It's kind of funny. They say, fat, people are fat and happy, but I say, people that are miserable love company, right? If misery loves company, I tell you, the fat loves company, because when someone's eating like shit, and we've been there before, and we're, living high on the hog, eating pizzas and food that tastes delicious, right? The stuff you just like to eat it. When one person, i.e. me in this case, says, I've had enough of this, I can't eat anymore, I feel like shit, I'm going to change it up, and I start eating really healthy, that's not really met with, way to go, pal, good job. It's, fuck, now I've got to, change some things in my life, because now I can't order that large pizza. Now I can't order those wings. You're going to be doing your own thing, and I'm going to be doing my own thing, and it's a pain in the ass. And so that's why it's so important to get on the same page and have these conversations and get them on board and set up challenges and make it a team effort. And, but you have to get all that done, because, she's not excited when I say I'm shutting down all this junk food, and, I don't want to go out for ice cream tonight like we did the last 3 nights. I can't do it. Yeah, it puts a little bit of strain. It does. I mean, it's just what it is. So have those conversations. Right? I'll also say, do the shopping yourself. Right? If you let her do all the shopping, and she's going to buy the packaged foods, the Entenmann's, the donuts, Pop-Tarts, Triscuits, Wheat Thins, cheese and crackers, salsa and chips, all those things that get you, especially at night, just do the shopping yourself. Right? Don't give her a list of stuff. Don't buy this. Don't buy this. Probably not going to go over too well. Instead, say, you know what? You chill out, you do something else, I'm going to go shopping. And then you buy healthier foods. And then when you get there, you make them, right? You cook for her. You cook for the family, right? Don't expect that she's going to just change everything about the way she prepares dinners and cooks for you guys and your family. Do it yourself, right? I mean, it's that simple. And then show them and show her how tasty healthy food can be, right? I mean, what wife is ever going to say no to a home-cooked meal that she doesn't have to make, right? Or maybe even clean up after? Of course, they're going to love that shit, right? So do it. I mean, I don't cook as much as I used to, but it does go a long way. And, healthy food doesn't have to be bland or shitty. It's not going to be quite as good probably as really fat-heavy, carb-heavy dishes, but you can still make them very delicious. In the Inner Circle, we have a recipe database with, a few hundred at least recipes of healthy foods that are relatively simple to make for us. It works extremely well. And I would even say, try new foods. Make it a goal to cook one new healthy meal per week, preferably together. Like I said, it all comes down to a team thing. So, again, I'll leave you with this: is you can't change your partner. You're not going to change how she thinks, how she perceives food, her relationship with food. All of those things are on her. And it's a bad idea to try to change it. So all we can do is work on ourselves. So take complete ownership of your diet. Realize that you're in a relationship with somebody that just doesn't have a great diet. And then start implementing all these things I talked about, or at least some of them, to make some changes. And honestly, it's made a huge difference. It really has. So give them a try. I'd love to hear from you. You can always comment in the show notes here on the blog. And you can always reach out to me with any questions or any more stories that I might have at steve@fitdadnation.com. I appreciate you listening. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.